Ladies and gents, welcome back. Welcome back. It's another week. It's been a whole week since the last Friday live stream, and holy cow, these things come so quick every single week. I can barely get ready enough for the next live stream, and here it comes. Here it comes. 9:33 is the usual time. There we go. I'm already late for my own stream. Welcome everyone. Thanks for joining. Thanks for all getting in here. You guys are all early to my show. Welcome everyone. And I'm hearing myself back now. Hold on a second. How does that happen? Where's the chat? Come on in, chat. Welcome. Love seeing you all coming in before I could even get here. Yeah, of course, I'm late for my own show once again, as always. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for hitting that like button. That's the obviously the immediate one you got to throw out there. Hit that like button because, you know, it helps out the channel. It throws that out in the algorithm, and it tells them to recommend it to other people out there. Chippy Outdoors, member for 20 months. Sell out of merchandise. It's gotta be it. Yeah. We're gonna get to that story because apparently I'm a big fat sellout. That's what I got. That's what I heard all about today. It was interesting. Put some effort in, and you know, the more effort you put in, the more backlash you get for it. It's a function of it. Try your best. Try what you can to do stuff, and yeah, it happens. We're gonna get into that, but there's other things to talk about before we do. And of course, I want to show this funny clip that I caught. I got this. I saw it on Marty up north's feed during the week, and this one cracked me right up because you keep hearing calls for democracy, the brewery. Oh no, I did get backlash for that one. That's funny, and we're gonna get into that one too because I'm kind of curious of the reaction to that. You know, I mean, it's nuance, and you know, everybody doesn't have to agree with everybody all the time. That's the thing. And this is what I love about dialogue and keeping things out there. You know, I have my opinion. You guys have your opinion. It doesn't have to always mesh and align with everybody in the room. That would be an echo chamber, and I'm not keen on having one of those. News updates for real with the $13.99 super chat. News updates, man, my man. Thank you so much. I've got one of your stories that I'm going to be talking about today, what we were emailing back and forth about. So I'm definitely going to make sure to be talking about that. I'd love to get her on, hoping to hear from her at some point soon. You guys are in the chat are going, what are you even talking about? We're going to get to that. But this first one, just have a laugh because we keep hearing from, the NDP and the Liberals all about how we need democracy. We need to have more democracy. Democracy is backsliding, all this democracy stuff. And, you know, democracy is an interesting thing. You know, I mean, going all the way back to, you know, the beginning of real liberty in our you know, modern times. What was it, Benjamin Franklin that said, you know, democracy is two wolves and a sheep discussing what's for dinner. But that being said, you know, democratic elections are a good thing. But, you know, with the new Democratic Party, this clip is really an interesting one. It really cracks me up. Let's pull this up here really quick. Now, this is a new Democrat. Now, in Alberta, there's this argument going on whether they should pull out from the Canadian pension plan and just run their own or stay in. And of course, UCP out in Alberta, the you know, the conservative side of things, the right-leaning, right of center, wants to pull their money out of the CPP and have the Alberta pension plan because they don't believe that the pension plan is solvent. And I don't blame them, actually, even though I'm in British Columbia and it benefits us in British Columbia that they stay in, of course. But that's a thing. So here we go. The NDP would go against the results of a referendum on the APP, and it's just amazing to me. The new Democratic Party said this:
"We're not going to support the cancellation of the CPP."
Or what if Albertans had a referendum saying we want you to pursue this?
We're not going to support it.
We're not going to support it. We're not going to support it. We're not. He was so quick to answer that. That's hilarious.
PP.
Or what if Albertans had a referendum saying we want you to pursue this?
We're not going to support it.
We're not going to support it. We don't support the will of the democracy, the will of people, the will of the people. We don't respect that. We're not going to support it. We're not going to do that thing that a majority of the people want in a referendum. We're that to come to the case. We're that to be the case anyway, moving forward. But I just wanted to share that because that is too funny. It really is too funny. And then there's always more funny clips. Of course, this was the one that made all of the the internet explode here in Canada, Canadian Twitter, Canadian X. This was the thing. Clyde, I need a laugh. Oh, it's gone. What? Message gone. Sorry. MCGA, that's to make Canada great again. Yeah. Only have to bring it back 8 years, and it'll be a lot greater than it is now. That's for sure. But we definitely need to go a lot further than that. There was definitely a lot of backsliding of liberty going on, even with the conservatives, and we'll get into that. We'll get into that. But nonetheless, this was a funny moment in Parliament, in parliamentary history, actually. Let's just let it play.
The Prime Minister's Arrive scam is now flailing out of control. Today, revelations from a Joël Denis Bellevance that one ArriveCan company received $250 million in contracts. Let's get this straight. It's a company with 4 employees, headquartered in the basement of a tiny cottage. They got IT contracts even though they admit they do no IT work. $250 million. WTF.
Here, here.
So that's pretty
I'm going to
funny.
ask the honourable opposition leader, please, to withdraw that comment and to use parliamentary language, please.
Withdraw it. Condemn
Where's the funds?
Where's the funds? All right. So that was the thing. And I thought that was hilarious. It was a good play. It was a good play to say, what happened to the chat? Come on, chat. There we go. It was a good play to, give an acronym that, largely a lot of people know what the acronym stands for. Obviously, being told you gotta withdraw your statement, withdraw what you said, and then he redefines it with, where's the funds? Where's the funds? Where is the money? Where is the money? Show me the money, right? I actually want to pull this up. I have this other thing here. Have a look at this. This actually is crazy. This is absolutely insane. Because somebody actually, I guess on Google Maps. Yeah, it was on Google Maps. But they found the place. They found the place. This is of course the place. Why my chat keeps doing that, I have no idea. But this is the place that he was talking about. This house along the Ottawa River is the head of GC Strategies, who received $258 million in federal government contracts. It must be filled with washing machines. Yeah, laundering all of our money, all of our hard-earned cash. And where did my chat go? I keep losing all of my stuff. It just keeps disappearing all over the place. There it went. There it went. Bring it over here. Come back. Come back to me, so I can see what all the people are saying. Oh boy. So this is the place. This is the place on the Ottawa River. Just a money laundering joint. And like this seriously is the place where they were saying, contracted $250 million worth of contracts, that they largely kept for themselves, and then did what with? No, I mean, seriously, like, think of that for just a minute. For just a minute, sorry, what is this? For just a minute, consider this. How this kind of signaling, what does that do? That tells every crook in the world, oh, you're doing it wrong. What you need to be doing is go right into government. You need to get into government contracting. And of course, you just got to be a consulting firm. You know, we don't do IT work, but we're the guys that find IT workers. We'll do that. We'll locate them. We'll figure it out, and then you know, we'll just take our cut, which is, you know, millions of dollars as headhunters. And when you get into some of these things, and Northern Perspective has probably been doing the best job of this entirely. That looks like a pretty sweet place to live, though. It does look like a sweet place, but it doesn't look like something that generates, you know, in 10 years, $250 million worth of stuff. But yeah, they're headhunting IT people on behalf of the government. But they somehow get paid more than the people who actually do the work. It's incredible. It's incredible that this is the level of corruption that we have here in Canada, but that's where we're at. That's where we're at at this point. And what do you even say to that? Now, I wanted to get into this story. I'm going to get into a bunch of stuff today. And then later on in the show, we're going to have Julian joining us tonight. So that's going to be a lot of fun. He's got some great sketches, and he does probably the best Justin Trudeau impersonation, which is infuriating to watch at the same time as really funny. Full Wookie for the $10 super chat. Who bought you, Clyde? Did the WD-40 lobbyists finally get to you? Here's a tenner to help keep you free. Yeah, there you go. There you go. I like it. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Yeah, no, I've been bought out apparently. This is what the accusations are. But before we get to that, I want to talk about this. This is news updates for real. John was on the channel before. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Watch the podcast. We did about an hour-long conversation. He's doing a bang-up job on YouTube as well as over on Instagram. He's doing amazing work over there, but bringing attention to things much like what I'm doing and other people are doing on these platforms. I'm trying to take the attention that we've got right now and focus it at things that are need focus. You know, there's a lot of people that just can't get their story heard, and if my channel can be a vehicle for that, that's what I'm happy to use my channel for. Everyone in the chat, who bought you, Clyde? Right on. yeah, at the cottage chalet, cottage or chalet. Yeah, which is it? Is it a cottage or a chalet? You know, there's a clear distinction, and enough that you wouldn't even know to think of the other one if you were under oath and one was mentioned to you. But I digress. Northern Perspective. Oh, speak of the devil, right? With a $5 super chat. Love the show, Clyde. Thanks for promoting our live streams this week. Class act, Team Canada all the way. If somebody's doing a good job, I'm going to point it out the best that I can. You know, obviously I want to bring these stories to people, but Northern Perspective knocking it out of the park, especially with this ArriveCan coverage. You know, if you want to talk about all the nitty gritty details, they're the people that take you there. That's absolutely where you go for that. Northern Perspective, big shout out. Absolutely doing a bang up job. Massive. And of course, another guy here, news updates for real. John doing an amazing job bringing these stories to light. He's not just doing Canadian stories. He does stories from all over the world. A lot of U.S. stuff. If you're into Canadian politics but also want to follow the U.S. stuff, get over there. Follow News Updates for Real. Make sure you get on the YouTube channel as well. I'll leave a link in the description or in the chat here so everybody can go over and follow. Massive following on Instagram, but there's no long form content over there, so you got to check them out on YouTube. That's the thing. But I'll just give a quick synopsis of this. How do I do this without showing the whole video here? Milady Loves Cats with the $2 super chat. Hit the likes, folks. Thank you so much. Yeah, absolutely. Hit that like Hit that like. We got 1,000 people in the chat, and we've got 380 something likes. Come on. We could do a little bit better than that. Why don't we do that? Subbed. Nice. Yeah. The more news sources, the better. That really, at the end of the day, is where it's at. And John's really, he's going out on the street to find people to talk about these things. Now, I'll just let a bit of this play so you can get a gist of what's going on in this story here.
Guys, good morning. It is Wednesday, February 14th, and we're just going to go into the family kitchen. Family kitchen, I believe it's called. Look,
Iron Pelvis with the $2 super chat. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Iron, nice name. Love the name.
Local restaurant, local business owner. I've heard a lot of things. So we're gonna go. She's agreed to do a little bit of an interview.
So this kept me pretty close to home because I grew up near Leamington, Ontario. I grew up in Windsor, Ontario. Leamington's just in the backyard there. That's where all the a lot of tomatoes in Canada are grown. Guess what? They're grown in greenhouses because it turns out tomatoes evolved a long time ago, before even humans were around. Tomatoes evolved, and in that whole process, it turned out there was a lot more CO2 in the atmosphere at that time, somewhere around 2,000 parts per million. So if you want them to grow really well, you got to bring the CO2 levels up to like that. So that's why they have greenhouses, so they can pump them with CO2. Jess44 with the $2.99 super sticker. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. That's awesome. Thank you. Anyway, back to the story.
So we're gonna go say what's up. Oh wow, yo, we might have to go. We might have to go to the Member of Parliament's office after this. Interesting. That's fantastic. So here we are. It's the old family kitchen. Family kitchen. Let's kick it off because we just never know where the convo's gonna go. How long have you guys been open here in Leamington?
It's been 16 years.
16 years?
Yeah.
That's excellent.
Yeah. I've owned it myself for 8 years now.
Okay.
So, but I've worked here since the beginning. So this has always been my job.
So the prices in Leamington, I've noticed.
Just before we get on with this, Trish Prue with a $10 super chat says, contributing to Clyde Sell Out Fund, LOL. We'll get into that. So, rather than going on with this, I'll leave a link in the description where leave a link in the chat here. Everyone can go check out this video. Do it on your own time. I'm not going to show the entirety of his video. He did a lot of work for this. So get over there and watch this video. But this lovely lady went through so much because of the whole COVID restrictions stuff. And she's facing, like, I can't remember, it was crazy number of fines. Like a ridiculous number in fines. And she jumped through all the hoops just to keep her restaurant going. Had to, re-register as a grocery store at one point to make this work. And still they came down on her, and it's a real shame. So there is a GoFundMe. It is actually GoFundMe, unfortunately. Give, Send, Go, not used in this particular instance. But if you are so inclined, head over to the Give, Send, Go, and you can contribute. Again, the GoFundMe. The link is there in the chat. Go check that out. Watch the story. Check that out. This is helping good patriotic Canadians that we're just trying to help people in a tough time. And what did they get? They got persecuted for it. So this is definitely something I wanted to showcase on the show tonight. Iron Pelvis with a $5 super chat. I'm from Windsor and I went to Family Kitchen. She rocks. Awesome. That's amazing. I'm hoping to have her on the show just to raise more awareness to her story and what's going on there. So hopefully we can get in touch soon and you guys will see that. Milady Loves Cats gifting 5 memberships to the channel. Thank you so much. Everybody get in the chat and give her a big ol' thanks for that. Thank you so much. How generous. That's amazing. Okay, I was gonna get to a bunch of stuff, but like, let's just get right to the sellout bit. So I'm a big fat sellout, apparently. Here's what happened. I did an event yesterday, and it's not the first event that I've done. I've gone out and talked with other people getting into politics and things like that. And this is an event. Travis Foster, welcome. Thanks for becoming a member of the channel. Appreciate that. So I put this out on Twitter because I'm proud of the things that I do. I've been saying this. I've been preaching this on the show. I've been saying, get involved, get out there, and the only way we're going to change things in Canada, for those that are the people with the black pill and saying you can't vote your way out of this, you're not gonna change anything. Well, we're gonna change things. We're gonna change things. It takes actually putting work into it. We can't just sit down and complain about it. Say that the parties. They're both bad. It doesn't matter. So get in and change the party. Get in and change who's in the party. If you don't like the people who are in the party, make a new party. Some people are trying that. Is that working out? Is that going so well for them? I don't know. I don't know if that's working out so well. So I'm saying what we should do, and what's been proven, and we've seen it in America, where the Republican Party, super rhinos, like people are calling them rhinos. News updates for real with another 279 super chat. Thank you so much, my man. You're generous tonight. Thank you. The whole rhinos, Republican in name only. Yeah, people were fed up with that. People were fed up with what they thought was the mono party in the United States. And what are they doing? They're going to the primaries and they're changing who's in the party. And that's what I'm engaging in here. And that's what I'm doing. I believe in the work that I'm doing. And, people can disagree with me. That's fine. I absolutely, everybody has the right to disagree. Jason Abbey, member for 6 months. 6 short months. Here's to another 6+ high vis Clyde shirts. Oh, I've been trying. It's so hard to source those out. I don't know what to do about getting them, but I'll keep trying. I'll keep trying to see if somebody will drop ship high vis shirts with logos on them. Try to make it happen. Anyway, getting back to this. So I said it was a real pleasure meeting with Marcus Wong for a public conversation about his candidacy for the Conservative Party. While Pierre Poilievre is going to be PM, he's going to be PM. Like, who says he's not going to be, right? Even the Liberals all know that he's going to be the next PM. We need to send a good team or good team members to Ottawa to help him, and this is the reality of the situation. I want to see in my riding, in your riding, and everybody's riding. You should get out there and you should be involved. Be involved. You can't complain that the right people aren't in the parties and we're running. You gotta douche in a turd sandwich or whatever, right? Like, no, you get involved, or else you'll be in that position of just voting for one guy or the other. And that's what I had to say. Now, before anyone else hits me up with these comments, I gotta nip this one in the bud. Where did it go? Yeah, of course. This is how you talk to short people. This is how it's done. Of course, I understand. Marcus is actually quite a tall guy. He is a really tall guy, and that's the thing. I look incredibly short next to him. I'm how vertically challenged are you, Clyde? Asking on behalf of us short people. I'm actually 5'9". I'm not incredibly short. But I'm not tall by any means at all. But next to Marcus Wong, I definitely look like a short guy. So before anyone can make fun of me, I thought I'd nip that one and make fun of myself, because that's the thing. I do look really short next to him. It's funny. It really is. But yeah, of course, in the comments, mixed bag of comments, and of course, a lot of this got attention from the Ferryman's Toll, which who have talked to before. I believe I had him on the channel before. Travis Foster with a $5 super chat. Have a wobbly pop on me, Clyde. Will do. Awesome. So thank you so very much, by the way. So yeah. Oh, you guys okay. well, 5'9" question mark. Zip me mouth, lol. Too funny. 5'9" is actually average for men. It is. It's pretty average. But people are getting taller. It's crazy. Like, there are a lot of tall people out west here. I know that. And Marcus is one of them. But yeah, okay. So you can see the comments here. Of course, there's a whole camp of people that are really into the People's Party of Canada. And they think, you know, I disagree. I disagree on the tactics, and I disagree on the way that we're going to change things in Canada. Does that mean I'm right? I don't know. I don't know if I'm right about this. And I'm not fat-headed enough to say that I'm absolutely right. I just don't believe that I am, right? And I can have my beliefs. I can have the ideas that I feel are, you know, this is the right way to go. And the right way to go, I believe, in my opinion, is to get involved in the party. Get involved in the party so that you can elect and you can choose who runs in it. And that's your first step. And then be active. Get out into your community. Get out online. Get out in the active community out there and share your opinions, expressions, all the things that you care about, all these things. Share it out there and help form the culture, shape the culture. Because, you know, politics is downstream from culture. They're just going to follow along to all these things that are said. Tony Petipas, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, with a $6.99 super chat. Just a super chat for us shorty guys, lol. Thanks, Clyde. Oh, that's funny. That's amazing. Of course. Cracker saying, you'll never convince a black pillar not to black pill. That requires work and time, and they have no patience. Yeah, that's fair. That's absolutely fair. But I got a lot of this. But I did get good reviews here. UG Tai saying, good to know your MP. They work with the MP, which means you really only 2 degrees separated from the leader of your country. It's true. It means that you actually have a say in things if you can actually get in touch with these people. Like, this is serious business, like, actually here. The CBC voting in favor of Bill C-4 to criminalize opposition to transitioning, while government actors propagandize it to kids. Yeah, so voting for Bill C-4. C-4, was that the one that Jordan Peterson was railing against? Ravisades with a $20 super chat saying, heading out for the evening, Clyde. Have a great stream. Thank you so much. I think we will, and hopefully you catch up on it later, because we're gonna have some laughs here in a short bit, because it's gonna be a lot of fun when John joins us in chat. 5'9" is average height for men in the world. Maybe. In some countries it's really tall, but I'm not insecure. That's why I make fun of myself. It's funny. Yeah, so I got bombarded with this stuff. Good job for selling out to the foreigners. That was an interesting comment, to say the least, of that one. Yeah, Marcus Wong's not a foreigner. He's a Canadian. And he's just as Canadian as I am. I'm a first-generation Canadian. Both my parents are immigrants, and his parents are immigrants too, from Hong Kong, the bastion of freedom in southern southern Asia. Well, at least it was for the longest time. And there's so much fighting for freedom in that area. So I mean, it is what it is. Ultimately, at the end of the day, it is what it is. I got. Some of these comments are just incredible. So they all end up shilling the CPC because that's what makes them money on their YouTube channels. And I mean, it's disappointing to hear this stuff, because and I had a little back and forth, of course. It's disappointing to hear this stuff because I'm actively trying to do good work here. I really want to change the direction of where Canada's going. I don't know if maybe my ideas aren't great, but to suggest the motives are somewhere else, that's like oh, thanks, let me just et tu brute, you know what I mean? Penny D with a $5 super chat. We should be taught in school to get involved in politics and how to do it. Yeah, I agree. Civics class is a thing of the past. So I said shilling, what makes the money. Man, this post misses the mark by a mile. You've been shilling for the CPC for months. You're no different than Pleb, Sunshine. I guess he doesn't like those guys. You're just more subtle about it. I'm not subtle about anything. I'm pretty straightforward. I've been saying that Pierre Poilievre's going to be the conservative, and if you don't like him, most people are gonna, hold their nose and vote for him. That's the way things work here in Canada. And I admire your participation, Clyde. Thank you, Margaret. I appreciate that. Clyde, you're a giant in my mind. That's hilarious. But this is the way it goes. But, so I had to say this back. I said, I've been pretty clear about my intentions. Engage with political system and then change the culture. If you're redefining what shilling means, I can't help you. I get you're trying to lob insults here, but I just disagree with your tactic of affecting change. I understand you disagree with mine, but hurling insults doesn't win arguments. I'm not out here to create some internet drama or anything like that. He's not the only one that disagrees with me, and I'm not trying to single him out in particular. That it just happened to be that. There's a lot of people who disagree with me, and a lot of them in the PPC camp, and it is what it is. This is the beauty of living in a free and fair society. I can get out and do this too. We can all get out and do that. It's just the way it goes. But my chat keeps disappearing, and I'm gonna bring it back again. I just wanted to bring this to everybody's attention because it is one of those things. I think blackpilling is detrimental to any efforts of fixing Canada. Canada is broken. There's a lot of issues with Canada. And some of them are really beyond the pale. Some of them are really exceptionally awful. But this is the time to encourage people to have hope and to want to change things. The more you convince people that there's nothing you can do, nothing's gonna happen, nothing's gonna, you know what, you're setting yourself a destination of that, and that's not where I want to go. So I'm not gonna live there. I'm not gonna live in that space where nothing you do does anything, because I thought that, and one thing that I did was I got on YouTube, and this is crazy, on YouTube after the Freedom Convoy, and I thought nobody would watch what I was talking about. I thought nobody would watch. I didn't care. I just did it anyway. I just made the videos thinking no one's going to watch it, but at the end of the day, in the future, if Canada falls and it's terrible and we have to leave and flee this place, I'll at least be able to think I did what I could. I did something. So that's where we're at, and I hope people can get inspiration from stuff like that. I really do. So this is a white pill moment of the day I wanted to share, because this is great. I love seeing this stuff. It really it excites me and rejuvenates my will to keep doing stuff like this and moving forward. White pill of the day. This is from Shilegen. I know I'm gonna mispronounce that, but he made this amazing post. I said, "We're winning despite how it may feel sometimes in this uphill battle. What we say does matter," and this is what he had to say.
Morning, everybody. There's going to be no underlying message or condescending tones. Just a renewed sense of purpose. In the last few weeks, we've seen how public outcry regarding the expansion of MAID to include mental illness has now been postponed. It was told to us that it was postponed because not enough doctors are stepping on board. Well, they were on board up until very recently.
UG Ty with a $5 super chat. You told the truth. Yeah, I tell the truth. And this is why, like, well, I'll explain this after. Thank you so much, UG.
Recently, when the public outcry went crazy. That tells us that what we say matters. Second example is the digital ID idea, where they wanted to scan your license before you went into the LCBO. literally within 24 hours, with so many people just saying how ridiculous that is, we were able to shut that down.
Yep, saying
So
no
what
way.
that tells us is that our voices do matter. If we do band together and speak up, these stupid ideas do not actually come to pass. Stay committed, keep calling it out, and we will come on top.
That's awesome. I love hearing stuff like this, because this is the kind of messaging that we need, not people telling us that, no, there's nothing you can do about it. We're just going to lose out. We're just going to lose out, and might as well just enjoy the ride on the decline. I don't think so. I'm not going to take this one sitting down. Pandemonium with the $5 super chat. I had to stick my bank account in the microwave for 2 years to unfreeze it. If we are selling Clydes, how much? I want one. Oh, that's hilarious. That's really funny. Pandemonium, thank you so much for the $5. Yeah, how much? Apparently it's because I one of the comments was, the super chats, you're doing it all for the super chats. I do like, what, 10 videos a week? I only do one live stream. If I was doing it for the super chats, I would just switch to live streaming all the time. I mean, I do one live stream a week, and I do it on a Friday, which is like when all the other big channels are streaming their stuff. So yeah, horrible time slot if you want to get the most amount of people in. It's great because all the people that are in here are people that want to be here, and that's what I like. I love it, and it's fun, it's entertaining for me. It's a great way to have a chat with all you guys on a Friday night when I know that the next day I don't have to work in the morning. And this is why I keep my day job too, because this could be five minutes of fame. You never know, right? I'm not expecting this to last forever or be some big thing. If it does and it becomes a big thing, great. That's fantastic. But my whole goal here is, I mean, you guys see it. I wear my heart on my sleeve all the time when it comes to this stuff. But that's me. Watch the movie Idiocracy, then you'll understand liberal NDP voters. Okay, I have seen that movie. It's really good. It's really good. Amazingly, they were trying to make fun of like country people, and it's amazing to me how that whole thing is actually turned around and it's become something else entirely. It's all the universities and the academia that have all lost their minds. It's incredible. But that's it. Body crabs be crabbing. Yeah, are you talking about the crabs in a bucket? Yeah, people. That's where they get that expression, crabs in a bucket. People, yeah, definitely pulling each other down and not helping each other win this fight. We'll transition to an EV mechanic podcast. What? EV mechanic? I like working on EVs. They're just fine. Yeah, they have their own dangers. The whole high voltage stuff, high voltage DC, and all that jazz. Get a crew, Clyde. Do multiple shows with other talent. Expand it. You can do it. Yeah, maybe I can. That would be fun. You know? And I am in talks with some people about doing some collaborative efforts to bring more stuff, put more stuff out there. Robert McFallon with $10 super chat. Still the best, honest journal mechanics spitting truth bombs on YouTube. Love the channel. Thank you so much, Robert McFallon. Penny D with a $5 super chat. Your show makes me happy. For me, it's healthy. Healthy? Healthy, I think. Thanks, Clyde and stream. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I was doing this because I felt like I had to say something, and then I realized that so many people were listening, and I'm like, okay, well, I'll just keep talking then. I'll just keep talking because it's therapeutic for me. It makes me feel better about what's going on, and it's leading to things. It's crazy. I never thought in a million years that I would actually, be getting phone calls from and conversing with people that that make the world move around. You know what I mean? I know we all make the world move around, but we all make the world turn. But you know, some cogs are bigger and some cogs are smaller. Incidentally, if you know gear ratio theories and stuff like that, the smaller cogs are actually applying more of the torque. And that's the reality of life. Clyde, you make me laugh and keep me sane. Thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. Well, I had something I was gonna share. And it slipped my mind. Dang it! It slipped my mind. I was gonna chat about something else. You're not even a real journalism, man. So that clip cracked me up. That killed me. That was just holy cow. That was a couple of streams ago. The whole Tucker Carlson thing, for sure. That's hilarious. Keep calm and truck Fudo. I like that. Anna Stefanovic. Anna, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. And I gotta fix the glitch. Whatever glitch is causing my thing to do that. That's an annoying thing, absolutely. But I wanted to get some of these. I had a whole lineup of things. Oh yeah, so this was the press conference for rebranding. Chat doing it again. Rebranding the carbon tax. Apparently, the Liberals had this grand idea of the carbon tax wasn't doing its thing. So let's just call it something else.
Hello, everyone. Bonjour. So earlier today, the Minister of Finance released the amounts that households will be getting back every 3 months through what is now officially called the Canada Carbon Rebate. As tax season kicks in, Canadians should know that they are getting this money in their bank account every 3 months. La remise canadienne sur le carbone. C'est l'argent qui revient aux Canadiens avec le prix sur la pollution. Ils reçoivent cet argent, peu importe le revenu. So in Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Ontario, and New Brunswick, where the federal backstop is in place, families are taking home more money next fiscal year than they did in the previous one. And as the carbon price goes up,
Yeah, right.
more money is collected from big polluters and more money is given back to Canadians. So for
that's obviously BS, a big old BS meter rocking out right now in my head. Yeah, okay, carbon taxes. Now the calculations that they use for this are actually ridiculous. They're completely ridiculous. The calculations that they use to do this, they just basically say, oh, you buy about this much fuel, you use about this much for your heating, so this is how much carbon tax it's gonna cost you. They don't factor in the fact that everybody you buy stuff from is also carbon taxed. And if everybody's carbon taxed, anytime you work in a business and your costs go up, you just pass that on to the consumer. It's absolutely the way it goes. Steve's Hyde, member for 6 months. Nope, it's a forever cash grab. A forever cash grab? Well, I'll tell you what, this is going to be one of the big things when the Conservatives do get in, because they're running specifically on getting rid of the carbon tax. If they don't get rid of the carbon tax, that's it for them. Like that it'd be a one and done for them if they have any hopes of getting anything done. That would be brutal. So, and of course, I'll be reporting on it. And the funny thing is like, yeah, I say good things about the Conservatives and what they're saying, and I take everything with a grain of salt. But as soon as they do get elected, they're gonna hate me. They're gonna hate me because I'm gonna be grilling them on all the promises. Where are you with that one? Where are you with that one? How much longer would it take to do this? Because I don't see why it should take that long. Ravisades with the $5 super chat says, okay, yeah, one last thing, carbon rebate. All of one bag of groceries every 3 months. Yay. Yeah, that's the thing. So, yeah, you get a rebate. It's just the GST all over again. GST, we're, just this little temporary thing so we could get Oh, okay, well, it's a big burden for everybody. Okay, we're gonna give people rebates. You don't get back more than you're paying in GST. It's absolutely ridiculous, and you're not gonna get back more than or else it wouldn't be worth it. It wouldn't be worth it. And if it was just the case that wealthier people are paying more than poorer people, then just call it what it is: wealth distribution, wealth redistribution. That's all. Why not just call it that? If that's what the motive is, but that's not what it is. Everybody's taxed on this one, and if it generates a ton of revenue, that revenue's got to come from somewhere. You think it's just poof? It just comes out of nowhere? Maybe the liberals think that. Maybe that's what they think, but it's absolutely nonsense. This is not. It's nonsensical. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Family of four, that is $1,800 a year in Alberta, $1,200 a year in Manitoba, $1,120 a year in Ontario, $1,500 a year in Saskatchewan, $760 a year in New Brunswick, $820 a year in Nova Scotia, $880 a year in PEI, and $1,190 a year in my home province of Newfoundland and Labrador. In Newfoundland and Labrador, Nova Scotia, and PEI, where we've also got the federal backstop, more homes use home heating oil. We've paused the fuel charge on home heating oil across Canada, so in places where a lot of homes are using it, there's less collected through the fuel charge. So the rebates in those provinces are adjusted to reflect slightly less revenue.
No, you're trying to get votes. Is what you were doing. You were trying to steal votes when people were leaning conservative. People were going away from your party because you were taxing them to death when they can't afford it. And that's what was happening. That's absolutely what was happening. And wait, who are you going to convince on this one? Who are you going to convince? Shameless O'Regan.
People told us they needed some time so they could actually afford the upfront cost to get off home heating oil.
Yeah, all of Canada was saying they need a little more time.
And to get off it permanently. And it is working. Thousands of people are using federal grants to make the switch to cleaner, cheaper, more reliable energy. They want to.
And heat pumps, as it turns out, they're not cheaper. They actually cost a lot more in relation to what people will be paying than what they were paying in heating oil. Got a super chat from Milady Loves Cats for $69.99. Whoa! Thank you so very much. You're one of the most honest and awesome Canadian YouTubers. Difficult decision for me tonight. Clyde versus Women's Canadian Curling Tournament. I'm glad I won that one. Thanks. I managed to do both. I managed doing both. Love it. Keep it up, Clyde. Oh, so funny. Wow. I'm sure you love women's curling tournaments. I'm sure that's oh, you're killing me. You're killing me. Thank you so much. Milady Loves Cats. Women's curling championship. Is it that time of year? Oh, where'd the time go? Thank you so much, though. That's amazing. I really appreciate your kind words. It's encouraging. It really is. It really is. Thank you so much. Anyway, I've had enough of this shameless O'Regan's mug on my feed here. Let's get him out of here. You gotta go. Is my chat gonna disappear? It did. It's this glitch. I keep having it. It keeps happening. But I want to how about we move off of talking about these things and talk about, well, I like talking about things that make me laugh. And things that make me laugh are comical things, and I love sketches, and I love parody, and I love all of that stuff. And tonight I have a guest with me that he's just been doing so well with this stuff. And incidentally, John, I'm hearing myself back on your side, so if you can fix that, maybe some headphones, that'd be great. All right, So longer introduction. This guy needs no introduction, but of course I'm gonna provide that right now as he plugs in. Of course, he's well known for his parodies. He's well known for his music. Amazing musician. He's well known for the struggle he went through during COVID in his field of work, and also his amazing ability to parody the Prime Minister of Canada. I want to welcome everybody tonight to John Julian. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Clyde. How's it going?
Good, good. Sorry, it's a little bit off. I tried adjusting it before, but hey, there we go. There we go. How are you? So this is my first time actually meeting and speaking with you. I've been watching your parodies for a good chunk of time, probably the past 2 years. Amazing work.
Thank you. Yeah, I've enjoyed your show too.
Oh, well, thanks
And,
a lot.
yeah, thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. So I wanted to get to the so it's your Trudeau impersonations. I mean, this is what most people know you the best for. But you're a musician, and obviously you can see behind me, I'm a lover of music. This is my passion, and this is the reason why I built my studio. And I'm not showy about it because I don't have quite the talent that you do, sir. Because I've watched many of your performances and they're fantastic. But I wanted to ask you before we get into any of the politics Trudeau stuff, and maybe this is just for me, and because I'm bringing my children along this journey. What brought you to music, and what made you want to make a career out of that?
I guess I remember being a kid and my dad played jazz records all the time, and he played the jazz on the radio station, and I was the only kid out of 5 kids that liked it a lot, and he could see that. So he showed me how to play the clarinet for a while, and then I took more formal lessons on that and saxophone. But in my late teens, I really just loved piano more and more, to the point where I just dropped sax completely. And so I was a bit of a late bloomer on piano, but I still had some musical background, so that helped. And I guess, yeah, just listening to great artists. Classical was in there a little bit, and especially later on. And I just loved listening to the same album or the same songs over and over again. And I didn't really understand it at first, but somehow it made sense, right? You know, when you love something and you don't maybe understand it yet. And so it made me want to be part of that somehow. Like not to be like for that big performer with a big ego and be famous necessarily. It wasn't about that. It was more just like, how can I get more of this? Or how can I, you know, and if you jump in it and actually play it, then you're at least somewhat getting closer to what makes it great, because now you're decoding it and part of it, right? So, yeah.
I love it. That's such a great explainer, because this is something that I find myself doing a lot of as you're describing it. And at work, I can't do this on the actual PAs at work where everybody would hear it, but I'll listen to the same song over and over and over again. If I just like, I'll find myself in love with a song. I'll find something. It doesn't have to be new, or it could be old, but I just discover it, and I'm like, I love it so much. I'll like for an hour straight just loop the same song over and over again, because man, just the way you describe it, it's very much that for me. And
great.
You know, I don't share a lot of my musical stuff because it's more of a personal journey for myself. Like I just it's rewarding when you're able to learn a new riff or learn something new. Not necessarily even write your own music, but just be able to mimic your the people that you look up to in music. And I find it fascinating. And your answer is just amazing. So you do this, you've done this professionally. I don't know, are you doing it professionally now? I know you had some run-ins during COVID.
Right. Well, let's see. It did slow down for everybody during COVID, and and then I was canceled from some things, and I still don't know the full ramifications of that yet. I can kind of feel it, but you can't know everything, because in music, certain venues or agencies can just not call you or not get back to you, and they don't have to give a reason, right? So it's been slow, and there was a petition against me last year, and I know that they sent it to every musician they could and every venue they could in town. And obviously some musicians I know are on my side and they support me and they don't buy into that. But there's enough people that are scared and that don't want to be associated with drama or trouble or politics. So they've just kind of, it's slowed down a lot. So, although I did, even after the petition though, Frankie's had me play, which is the big jazz club in Vancouver.
Oh, okay.
And it was sold out, so there's some that, presenters that are still having me and believing in me and stuff like that. And hopefully as the culture and the pendulum shifts and more of the, I believe that the woke people are kind of in the minority, but they see themselves as the big majority because the media and the government supports them, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's actually all the common people of the world that are, I think there's way more of us, and we're just starting to speak out more, as you can see, right? Starting to be less afraid to speak out against this nonsense. So
I was just talking about this recently with some others privately, and it kind of dawned on me, this concept. You know how people they constantly tell you we should just avoid talking about politics, and a lot of people feel this, like don't talk about politics. I came to a realization that it's actually only like right of center people that do that or say that, because all the wokies and all the people left of center, they talk about politics all they want. And really what it is, it's other people, rational, reasonable people that are just trying to keep the peace, and they know that those people will lash out and that they're the misbehaviors. They're the people that are completely irrational, and they're the reason why you can't talk about politics, because any other civilized people would generally just say, oh, I disagree with that. Okay, moving on, right?
Wow, that is so great. I never thought of that, and that I think is brilliant, and that's probably what's happening.
Yeah, it dawned on me, this concept, because all throughout the pandemic, it was the same. Like I didn't speak about it much with people because I wasn't sure what their point of view was. But I knew that if they were not on the same wavelength as me, they would freak out and have a fit. But if they were, if it was the other way around, and I wouldn't have a fit if they disagreed with me, right? And that's where I came to this realization. I was like, holy cow, is this really the situation that we're in?
Oh yeah, in the petition it said things like, imagine people wanting to stop me from playing music, just playing instrumental music tunes, because they thought I was a danger to, like, with my political thinking, and that I was violent with words and homophobic and transphobic and racist. Okay, so that doesn't even make any sense. I've had more gay friends than most people I know because I've been in the arts and in classical and other reasons too, and I devoted my life to studying jazz, which was invented by Black people. I mean, it's just feels ridiculous. It's a weird time to be in.
Well, do you know the opinion of the free trade agreement of the Weimar Republic that Beethoven held?
No, tell me about it.
Well, nobody knows. I don't think anybody knows, because it doesn't matter when it comes to music. And that's the whole point. Who cares? I mean, yeah, you have political views, but that's outside of the realm of what you do for a living, right? And I think the cancel culture has become this, right? Cancel culture has become, no, politics has to be all encompassing. It has to be your entire life. You can't just have political views and then also just be a good neighbor and a mechanic or a pianist. You know what I mean? You can't have any of that.
That's right. And also they would say, like the woke left would say, musicians shouldn't be political. He's too political or whatever. But if I was their political, then they're totally all political.
You should be more outspoken, you know.
Oh yeah. Well, a lot of arts grants, government grants, associations and companies that you've heard of and stuff. A lot of their agenda is becoming increasingly about social justice and equity and all the typical things that we see more and more of, and it shouldn't be, right? It should be just about music.
Well, that's it, and it's everywhere. I mean, Taylor Swift is all over X right now. It's all over the media. I've largely been ignoring it. I don't know any of the details. I don't know anything about her hubby that plays a position. I know there's a photo of him arguing with some coach or something. I don't know any of the details. Do you know any of it?
I follow it a little bit. Yeah, that's kind of a newer thing, and I only saw the memes with the coach and the guy arguing.
Right. That's all I've seen. I don't know, so I don't know the context, so I don't know what's being said there. But the funny thing, and where it's relevant to the conversation we're having, is that at the end of the day, who cares? She's a person who sings and dances. Like, she writes songs, sings and dances. And that if you enjoy that, and that's what you consume her product for, what does it matter? Any of the other stuff, and the other guy, the football player, he's an athlete. He's there also for your enjoyment, for the thing that he does. Who cares what he thinks about anything else?
Yeah, but although you have to admit that it seems like all the celebrities are aligned, and not organically, on the same, they kind of push the vaccine or whatever the government wants to push. They're kind of in line with the elite, I find.
Well, I think that they were, because they found themselves out of work if they weren't. So the more fervent they are on the thing at the time, the more likely they are to get another gig, you know what I mean? And you know what it's like, because working in it. And tell me, why don't you tell me about it? Because most of us are day job holders. Most of the people in the audience, and most of us talking, myself including. I'm a day job holder. I work 9 to 5. What is it like being a musician? Like, you don't have, unless you're working for an orchestra or something like that, you don't have a solid thing going for it. How is that life?
Yeah, well, pre-COVID, I would teach at a couple different places. So there's always a bit of that, and maybe teach a bit at home. And then a lot of musicians are like this, right? At least in jazz and classical, they kind of do teaching as most of their income. And then as far as income performing, usually the money is going to come from more commercial venues, like, let's say, playing background at the Wedgwood Hotel or the Wall Center, which I've done, where you're just kind of, playing background piano music or something, or playing for, let's say, pop music where you're doing an ABBA tribute, or like I'm going to be in a Doors tribute band next month, so I have to learn 20 tunes in a hurry, which is hard for me because I don't know that music very well.
Right.
And there's more money and stuff where it's really, really popular and you're part of it and you're sort of showing that. Or let's say a wedding band where your band knows the top 100 songs of the last 50 years, 60 years, then that does pretty well because you can charge a lot. Takes a lot to get the band off the ground and market it, right? Obviously.
Well, and those tunes are relatively easy tunes to play, right? Like, most of those were written by teenagers, the EAD, EAD over and over again kind of thing.
Yeah, but however, for keyboard players, you got to know all those synth sounds and then get the different, and then have two keyboards.
I never considered that.
It's kind of it's in a way, it's the hardest for keyboard players because you have to learn all the Whitney Houston synth sounds and then go to that number quickly and then have your other backup piano sound down here. And then, whereas a drummer, not to say drumming's easy or any instrument's easy, I'm not saying that.
None are.
But just if you know the beat, you still got your sticks and the same drums. Or it's, pop piano, you got to switch sounds a lot. And
yeah, well, that's the one that I find the hardest, like, because I have a keyboard in the house, piano out here. And my daughter's playing piano. She loves it, absolutely loves it. But the keyboard has a bunch of different sounds, and as soon as you switch over to like organ, I don't even know what to do with it.
Yeah. So, what is your background in jazz or classical or?
So pop? I'm not a formal musician by any means. I'm a musical lover. But as a kid, I played the bagpipes in a pipe band when I was like 13 years old. I got into guitar all through my teenage years. Played that consistently through today. I love a lot of like folk music or rock music as well as flamenco. I don't know why I just fell in love with that as a kid. And then jazz became this big thing. Listening to jazz, David Brubeck and all the classics, right?
Sure.
And just love it. Absolutely love it.
Great. And you're in Squamish, which is just down the highway.
Yeah, I mean, we need to jam sometime, but I'd be embarrassed to play with the likes of a brilliant musician like yourself. That would be you'd carry me, that's for sure. That's the way that would go.
I played in a couple pop bands. Actually, one of them fell apart because a trans drummer was auditioning and said, "Oh, sorry, but I'm not going to play with that dude." And then he pointed at one of my Trudeau videos and said I was transphobic or whatever.
What? Over that?
Yeah. And so the other band members looked at it and said, "Oh yeah, if we get bookings, then our human resources will look John up or whatever." And so it kind of fell apart. Although people defended me, like a couple members quit because they were upset and they were on my side. So just division. Yeah, it's weird.
It's brutal. And it's where things don't need to be. And let's be glad that you have this other stuff to fall back on, because you have such tremendous talents elsewhere as well. With your channel. I just want to pull this up because for people that don't know, and I also want to give everybody the link for people who aren't following. Sorry.
No problem. Thanks.
Oh, of course. So if anybody who's not following, here's the channel. John Julian. You got a new one. Oh, that's from 6 months ago. I did watch that one. But John Julian on YouTube. Everybody get over there. I'll leave a link in the chat right now so everybody can go over and get subscribed. But let's just have a quick look at some of the impersonations here, because it cracks me right out. This one was actually difficult to watch because you do it actually so well.
Following the science and our
start from the beginning here.
Guys, I haven't had a chance to read this over. Just go? Okay. Bonjour tout le monde. On behalf of the government, I humbly extend my sincerest apologies for the deeply regrettable actions taken by us, which have resulted in the undue suffering and harm to all Canadians. It is our moral and legal duty to take meaningful steps towards reconciliation.
Okay.
We now recognize that
so that's where it all shifts, right? At first you're like, wait a second, what? Is this for real? And then of course that's where the parody starts, and I want everybody to go over, check out the whole video for yourselves, because it's just amazing. And how did you figure out that you do such a good Trudeau? Where did that come from?
It was kind of by accident. Like my brother and I, my brother Gord, ever since we were kids, we would do voices of friends and family and teachers at school, or people in the Ukrainian Canadian community that we know, and it was just for fun that we would do that. And occasionally he'd leave a message for me on, like, even recent years, right? He would just leave a message for me with a new voice that he's working on, like Bill Gates or whoever, and I would be like, Gord, that's amazing, like he's brilliant. He does so many voices that you're going to hear more of him on my channel. But for some reason during COVID, Trudeau came out looking a little bit more like a dick, and it just kind of caught my attention more, like his tone and the coldness.
Yeah.
And I thought, I thought, I wonder if I could do this. I said I probably can't do it, but at least I could write down some phrases that caught my attention, because he has a way of speaking, and if you can put those phrases together, it's kind of ridiculous, right? Like, let's face it, he's pretty unique, right?
Yeah.
And I thought, if I can kind of figure out those phrases and words, then I'm halfway there. So then I did my first video. I don't think it was that great, but a lot of people liked it. And so I even left messages for friends, and they cracked up. And I remember thinking, okay, well, if they're laughing a lot, well, maybe I should do a video for YouTube. And so I had my first video that did okay. But then I thought, I know I could do this better. So I was driving an Amazon van. That was my full-time job. Just, I've had a full-time job in the last couple of years, just, since COVID, basically, just to kind of, because I lost some music work and stuff.
Right.
And so I was delivering in Squamish quite often too.
Oh, okay.
and so there would be time in the van to sort of rehearse the words and the lines. So the laundry skit, which is my second video, which has 140,000 views or something, but that one, I wrote it out. It was like 5 pages long or something, and I just practiced it all week long, and it would take a minute and a half to get through. And I must have rehearsed it 100 times that week. And then I called James, my videographer friend, and met with him. And then we just filmed it. And that did pretty well. So that was like the first one that did really well.
That's amazing. It's spot on. It's bang on. Some of the mannerisms as well that Justin Trudeau has are just ridiculous when he's doing these press conferences. I noticed it right away when he was doing it. It feels like what he does is he looks at the back of the room, and then he looks at the exit over here, and then he looks at the exit over here, and then he looks at the back of the room again. And he's just he's like an oscillating fan, right?
Totally. Yeah, thanks for saying that, because someone else pointed that out, and then I said, okay, thank you for that tip, and I've been using that one a little bit more. Yeah,
it's just
and
so ridiculous.
I wrote down a few phrases just briefly, just before this, because I knew I was coming on your show, and just classic stuff like, it's just random from my memory, right? And he's also lately, I don't know if you've noticed, but Justin Trudeau has been kind of more bold in his voice and kind of almost borderline yelling a bit.
Yeah.
I'll show you what I mean. So, we must remember who we are, and holding provinces accountable, and having a conversation with Mexican drug cartels to ensure that only the finest immigrants are allowed into our wonderful nation that we all love. We have to roll up our sleeves, and we are working to implement more trans people in our bricklaying jobs, and we need more Black people to operate heavy equipment at our construction sites.
Keep riffing with that. I want to interview Justin Trudeau just briefly, if we can play that for just a moment.
Okay.
So if I was to interview Justin Trudeau, I don't know how I'd keep my cool around that guy, because just what he's done in Canada. But Justin Trudeau, good to finally sit with you for some questions that I've had for some time. So first question of the interview, I just wanted to ask, how is it that you stay so greasy? I'm a mechanic, and I even struggle with that.
Canadians want a leader who has great resolve, and a lubricant is always a good idea. Sometimes, as in your trade, you get a little black grease on your face. Well, I made a whole career out of that.
Sorry, keeping my composure here for the interview. Prime Minister Trudeau, what was the point of the carbon tax rebrand? If the carbon tax is so great, why not just call it what it is, a carbon tax?
We've been working with the Liberal Party of Canada to make sure that our terminology is up to date. And if our carbon tax has been saving lives and even helps with male pregnancies, then we need to change it and upgrade the terminology.
Unbelievable. Oh, what's that? Hold on a second. It sounds like we've got a call in. This is the first time probably for the show. There's a call in. Who's this on the line?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I could hear you fine.
Thank you for having me, Clyde.
Is this early 2000s Jordan Peterson on the phone?
Darn right, Bucko.
Well, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining. Let's get the visuals up on the screen. Jordan Peterson, early 2000s Jordan Peterson. Welcome to the show. Justin Trudeau, are you hearing Jordan just fine here?
Yes, I am.
Oh wow! Oh,
Thank you for having me, Clyde.
Yeah, absolutely. Jordan, did you have any questions for the leader of Canada, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau?
Oh man, I got a lot of questions. I think like a lot of Canadians, I've got a lot of questions. This isn't going well, man.
No, absolutely, it's not.
We can't build a country overnight. This takes time, and we have to go from coast to coast to coast, and from Red River to Red River.
Well, you know, I've been working as a clinical psychologist out of the University of Toronto, and this isn't going well. It's a bloody disaster.
Well, that's partly your fault for not using the right pronouns. I like to be called One Spirit, Two Face, and I refer to myself as Monsieur and Il. Sometimes El, but only when I'm in the mood and hanging out with drag queens.
Well, that's a bloody thing. So, you know, you're a sexual deviant. Maybe you should focus on that.
Quite frankly, that sounds like hate speech coming from a misogynist and a trucker type person. And that is not who Canadians are.
Yeah, you know, you made my life living hell.
Well, I hope you're enjoying your social media retraining camp program, because I was the one that started that whole process. You need to learn how to post more cat videos and, snapshots, Snapchat or whatever you call it, of your latest meals, and instead of your offensive tweets and insulting behavior.
You're a Marxist.
We can
early 2000s Jordan Peterson, thanks for calling into the show and speaking to the Prime Minister of Canada. Yeah, glad to have you. All right, getting back. Oh man, you killed me. I cracked. I was wondering if I could make it through that. All right. The chat's dying right now, and I'm dying from that. That of course is a good friend of mine. You may know him on Twitter as the amazing Zoltan, and he does a fantastic early 2000s Jordan Peterson. And
yeah, that was great.
Sorry to catch you off guard. It only would have worked if you didn't know it was happening. So
yeah,
I worked so hard
he's
to make
great.
that happen. Oh boy,
that was excellent. So he's American?
No, he's Canadian.
American?
He's also Canadian. And
okay.
He's actually going to be moving to the area, so we might actually all be able to do some work together in the future.
Cool. Yeah, for sure. We should do a skit sometime if you ever want to be in one. Like, I just call my friends sometimes to say a few lines, and I edit it all later to make it look good. But we just kind of throw a skit together, and even the day before, just get some lines together and.
Absolutely. I've got some fun ideas, because here's the thing. Like, what I do is not sketch comedy, but I love sketch comedy. In fact, when I was in high school, I took drama class. It wasn't Justin Trudeau teaching that one, but the thing that I loved the most was improv stuff, like just having fun, like what we were just doing here. And you're fantastic at it, by the way. But doing stuff like that is a lot of fun for me, but it's not the capacity of what I do for video content. And if I could be involved in any of that stuff, I would absolutely love to. So that's a big ticket on my to-do list, is getting together with you and doing some of that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and it's great that you're comfortable in front of the camera. You know, you speak all the time publicly, so that helps too. So
absolutely,
you definitely do it. Mm-hmm.
So what's the plan? What's the plans for the channel moving forward? Are you because obviously Trudeau's not going to be around forever, and you probably want to be positioning yourself in a direction. Sketch comedy, is that, because I noticed your handle on X is John Sketch.
Oh, Stetch is my. It's probably more like John Stetch.
I'm just dyslexic. That's what it is. I actually am.
Oh, no, it's okay. That's why I've been going by John Julian, because it's just easier for people. Because people have always made, people all my life have made mistakes. Like they call it stench, stretch. They misspell it. So yeah, I'm going more by my two given names, John Julian. But yeah, no, I'm thinking maybe less Trudeau eventually, obviously, and a bit of Polyev. I don't think Polyev's that funny. So even though I can sort of do his voice, it might not be as funny. And then maybe working on some new characters, like even fictitious characters, like this one guy I do called, I made up a name called Tristan Shiplak. And he sounds kind of like this. Hi, it's Tristan Shiplak from the Colleges of Psychologists of Ontario, of the world, of Canada. And I was on Clyde's show today, and I just want to say I just love Clyde. I think, even though he probably belongs more in the auto shop, fixing cars and things like that, but I just loved, that he just played a little bit of piano, and he tinkles the piano keys.
I love it. Very Martin Short-esque. I like that. Old style comedy is something that we don't see much of anymore. And one thing that I found that's kind of lacking in comedy is any sort of cleverness to it. I found, if you tune into Saturday Night Live or any of these sketch comedy shows anymore, it's who can be the most vulgar and get away with it. Like that seems to be the and I don't find it funny. Like, because there's a point where you've heard all the vulgarity and you're like, now what do you got? What is there?
Shock value, right?
Exactly. I mean, like Amy Schumer, I saw a clip of her on the Tonight Show and recently, and she's got nothing going for her except the shock value. And like I said, once the shock's worn off, what do you have?
Yeah, I know what you mean, because I just saw something that was kind of an older movie, and it even had a lot of that in it, and I still kind of liked it, but. Yeah, I know what you mean. Like you can still be funny and have it more subtle, but just take more time to craft it, and it doesn't have to have all the crudity or the shocking kind of over the top disgustiness, right?
Well, exactly, and sometimes just silliness is hilarious, and you don't see enough of that anymore. Like I'm a big fan of, like I said, Martin Short, as well as Steve Martin. Huge fan of him. And the stuff he put out back and really at the end of the day, or even drawing a blank on his name, the guy from the airplane movies. Why am I?
Oh yeah, Leslie Nielsen.
Leslie Nielsen, that's right.
Yeah,
this stuff is just fantastic. It's just silly.
Yeah,
like whatever happened to silly.
Oh yeah. One of my favorite lines is when he said, "I think we're gonna have to land the plane now," and then the cockpit people said, "All together?" No. He or Leslie said all together, and then they all said it together.
Yeah, just puns and funniness.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a dad.
Yeah.
I've been a dad for about 10 years now, almost, and puns are a dad's best friend always, right?
Oh, sweet.
That's how we do our comedy. I wanted to get to a couple of these super chats that have popped up, because I know people have their own questions that they want to ask you. Sorry, let me just pull these up, because they scrolled by while we were doing all that other stuff, and I wanted to get to this.
Sure.
Alta Peasley with a $27.99 super chat says, I'm sucky, Clyde. I love your show. My morning go-to. 5'9", honestly? Yeah, I'm 5'9". I'm 5'10", and have met 5'10" guys and had to look down on them in my eyes doing something wrong. Yeah, just keep bringing us honesty. Thank you. Yeah, I'm 5'9". I'm not 5'10". I'm not 5'8". I'm 5'9". I'm an honest 5'9". I'm probably 5'10" with the hat. That's where I'm at. Alta Peasley also saying for $6.99. Milady loves cats. You can watch the both because you have to watch ladies curling on mute. It can get a little loud. I also love curling. JS women are loud. Somehow curling almost beat me out as like the thing to watch this evening. Go figure. Go figure. It's a big thing. Chris B with the 279 super chat. Bravo Trudeau, telling us Canucks what we think, and that really is the crux of Trudeau, is it not? At the end of the day, and I think that's a funny point that can go right into some like comical things. Is that's what he does. He doesn't tell you, like, what was it? He heard that Canadians don't want him anymore and don't want him as prime minister anymore. He was told this flat out in an interview, and he just says, "Yeah, well, I have a lot of work to do still." Like, what the hell kind of response is that to, you're a democratically elected leader and the majority want you out? Like, what the hell is that?
Oh yeah, well, he has these sort of automatic responses that can kind of operate as a stopgap, just for something difficult like that, and it sort of fills the space at least.
Oh, you think it's just a automaton sort of thing where he's just...
Oh, yeah, he's got kind of an arsenal of phrases like that are just sort of general. They don't say much, but what else can you say if someone criticizes you, right? Well, we still have work to do.
I actually have the clip. I have a clip that I got to pull it up now because it nails that right on the head. Where was it? Trudeau. What was the name? He was talking about interest rates. Interest.
Yeah, there's so many.
There's the one. I found it right away. I knew I'd find it quick. But this
Wow.
is the clip. Just have a gander at this because this cracks me up.
We put forward measures to support Canadians right across the country so that we could stay healthy and so that we could have an economy to come back to as soon as the opportunity arose. We have been absolutely transparent every step of the way about these investments we're making for Canadians, about how we are supporting millions of Canadians, millions of people, thousands upon thousands of small businesses across this country get through this unprecedented time.
So that was his response, right? But that came right after this moment.
Regardless of what that figure is exactly, future governments are going to have to carry that debt. The servicing costs on that are going to be very high.
Sorry?
The servicing costs on the debt that you're going to have to carry, that you're adding to now, right?
Interest rates are at historic lows, Glenn.
Okay, but it's still a lot of money.
No.
It's still a lot of money.
No.
And you don't know where. Okay, but how are you going to pay for that? How are we going to?
So this is the point that I wanted to show you, because like that totally caught him off guard. It pulled him out of focus. It pulled him out of where he was. And obviously, historically low interest rates. What are you talking about? I can borrow all the money in the world. We'll just pay it back at no extra cost. Yeah, right. Here we are now. But after that, watch his reset. It's just astonishing.
Going to pay for those costs in future years? Are you going to increase taxes, or are you going to cut programs?
Okay. Right now, we're in an
Okay, I'm ready. Mr. DeVille, turn the lights on, hit the clapping board. I'm ready for the scene now. Isn't that astonishing, though, to watch him in action? Like, he is just an automaton. He's not a real person. It's crazy. Or what his forward projection of a person is just absolutely fake across the board. And you see all the cues once you start looking for it, and you know it.
Yeah, that's right. One of the nicest compliments I got was my friend Cynthia said, "Thanks for doing your Trudeau, because now I laugh when I see him because I'm watching for certain things that I've pointed out."
There's not enough people. Yeah. Like I don't think this hour is 22 minutes, or any of these people are doing any justice to, or any service to Trudeau, and just like how blatant it is. I mean, it's just, he's such a character. And not in a good way. I'm not saying that in a good way at all. He's absolutely a character, like borderline, probably, you know, sociopathic, of course. Maybe not borderline, full on, but it's absolutely insane.
Yep, and divisive, like just wow. I just, it hurts my heart, you know, like he'll say it in this kind of sweet way, as though it's masquerading as kindness and, you know, betterment for all, but deeply divisive, you know, or giving a gift to, as you, I'm sure we talk about this probably all the time in your show, like he gives a gift to one small group to purposely to piss everyone else off and get them more divided.
Yeah, and yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right about
like
that.
You have children, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So have you ever? Well, you probably don't ever do this, but if you give a gift to one, like an ice cream cone to one and not the other, on purpose.
Yeah, and don't say anything.
And then they fight and hate each other.
That's the worst. That's the worst.
Yeah.
I think that's actual like clinical narcissistic behavior. Like in the DSM-5, if you like go read the DSM, this diagnostic and statistical manual for disorders, that's listed in there of things that narcissists do, like some of the traits where they would they'll use things like that, like gifts and whatnot, in order to pit people against each other for their own narcissistic pleasures, whatever it is.
Yeah. But do you ever think that when he announced a few days ago, he says, and we're giving some F-16 fighter jets to Ukraine. Like, I wonder if it's almost on purpose just to demoralize us and to just make us more depressed. And
yeah, piss us off even more. Like, it turns out we have like 4 days worth of munitions to protect ourselves. Oh, and we're just going to give it away. Like, what a piece of work. What a piece of work that guy is. Like,
yeah.
And I think you're right about that.
Sorry, you got me on a roll, but
yeah.
Like one of the things that drives me the most crazy is that he's always talking about democracy and how we are democracy, and yet he'll just announce things like a dictator, and he didn't consult us.
So that's the one that drove me the most nuts over the pandemic. That one drove me the most nuts, and I think it drives me the most nuts still, because we keep hearing him say that. And oh man, you struck a chord with me with that one.
Oh, the other thing, and then I'll be quiet, but is he loves making a big deal about protests, peaceful protests in other faraway places, but as long as they're not here, against him.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, I didn't invite you here to be quiet, but I do want to say though, you struck a chord with me there, because that's absolutely what this government did. They order in council is a new word that I didn't know existed before COVID, or a phrase. I didn't know what an order in council was, and it's this concept that they can just make the rules up as they want, and then all you got to do is challenge them in court. But then the courts are in their back pocket, so when you challenge them in court, they just pull the order away, and then they declare it moot because it's no longer affecting you. And that is
right.
There's nothing more dictatorial than that concept as a whole. It is just absolutely disgusting that any judges or any judiciary would allow for that, and not just say moot my ass, you know.
Yes.
Like, give me a break. You could just pull it back tomorrow, and then it's another year before the court date comes.
That's right. I noticed that too. It's horrible. Hey, I just have to take something out of the oven, but I can come back in a minute.
Absolutely. Okay, we're in intermission. I'm gonna get to some of these questions. If any of these questions were referenced to John in this, well, I'll definitely redress them again. But let me hit refresh on this so we can get these chats up. I'm not sure where I was. Oliver Ruff with a $10 super chat. There's no message on it. Sorry, I didn't go back far enough. Penny D with the $5 super chat. Mr. Trudeau, I bought an EV and don't know what gender to. Hold on, is that not showing the whole thing? Apologies, everyone. Mr. Trudeau, I bought an EV and I don't know what gender to refer to it as. John definitely needs to hear that one. Holy cow, they're still rolling in. Okay, well, I'm going to go over these with John in the room because some of these chats are great. Some of them are focused at you, John. So we have here Penny D saying, Mr. Trudeau, I just bought an EV and I don't know what gender to refer to it as. Chris B with a $6.99 super chat says, remember her, a Canadian... A Canadianism? Remember her. A Canadianism is a Canadian, or a Canadian is a Canadian. Tell that to the Coots 4 and the trucker convoy. Yeah, that's crazy. So that was a thing that he said. Oliver Ruff with a $10 super chat. Nothing written there. Thank you so much. Thank you so very much. Robert McFallon with the $5 super chat. Rishi Sunak is just like Trudeau, but whiter. Rishi Sunak. I don't know who that is. Yutaka with the $5 super chat. JT is an assault style politician with full auto no's. Hey, comedian guy, please do a Philip champagne cheers, Clyde, and chat room. Comedian guy John Julian, everybody needs to bring this up again. Get over and subscribe to the channel. John Julian's doing a bang up job every day with this, because Canadians need to laugh, and that's really at the end of the day what needs to happen, because there's so much to frustrate us all the time, and if you can't laugh at stuff, I mean, you won't get that release. A lot of what I do, especially these Friday podcasts, I end up laughing a lot during these, and it helps out so much with just all the stress. I mean, of my job as well. I have, as a mechanic, it's stressful, but living in Canada and just watching all this stuff play out and go down with this gaslighting, like we keep seeing, and you keep pointing out more of the nuances of. I love because you're an impersonator, you catch on all these little minute details of a person's character. It's amazing.
Well, he's easy to do. I mean, I'll be sad when he's gone.
Fair enough. Sorry if I'm interrupting dinner. Did you have something cooking in the oven? Is that what was going on there?
Oh, it's a chicken, so it still needs another half an hour. So that's perfect, because I just had to sort of treat it, and then.
Fair enough. Just going on with this, but yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to moving on and doing some of these skits together, because well, I mean, we'll talk about this after, and
sure, that would be great.
I'd love for you to stay on the line, but we're gonna bring the live stream to a close. I want to thank everybody for coming out to this amazing turnout as usual. So many great people and so many generous people. Thank you so much for all the super chats, donations. It helps out a lot. It helps so I can build more in the studio here, and hopefully have John in the studio next time. That would be amazing. Have a real studio environment. It's difficult because well, people are so far away. For the most part, most of the people that I end up talking to are usually like in Eastern Canada, or if they're in the West, they're in Alberta. So glad to see another BC person on the stream. That's amazing. Or what is it? I prefer to call them BC people. BC kind, maybe that's it.
Yeah.
So stick on the line. Right. Thanks everybody for tuning in and watching the live stream. Thanks again, John Julian, for taking the time out of your day to come in and be a part of this. Everybody,
thank you.
Keep on trucking.